So lucky I got cut off there. Um, yeah, I'm not sure if I was still recording. I think we're recording now. All right, so lucky. Um, like I was saying, you're gonna be suffering, the afflictions of these evil spirits because you're trying to push the word, and this part of that refining it's like an exercise, it's got to be some resistance. A false balance is an abomination to the Most High, so it's not going to just be everything good and golden, everything given to you. You got to be built up. This is verse 10. Therefore, this is the point here I want to drive home. Therefore, I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Hamashiach, yeah, in Yahweh Shai Hamashiach with eternal glory. Okay, so it says, therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake. So what Paul is saying here, I believe, what Paul is saying here is, through all the afflictions that he's going through and stuff like that, whether it be, being beaten and slandered, name calling, whatever these scoffers, you can be thrown in jail, lose your job, lose your wife, and all these things. Let's take for an example, right? Because I'm pretty sure this has happened, to some brothers in the truth. You lost your old lady or something like that, and the Most High brought you through that, and built you up from that. He broke you down and brought you back through that. Now, when you have newcomer brothers coming in, and they lose their old lady, you'll know how to talk to them and comfort them. Like, you know what? I walked through the same thing. Let me give you my testimony. This will happen. This will happen. But the Most High brought me back tenfold. Like, and then you could bring out a scripture like in Job. You'll be highly relatable to them. You'll be able to, be like, you know what? This is a real life testimony of the things that's going on. This is something. How do I say it? This is something that I could break to you on your same level. It's like, again, like the pastor in the church type of thing. Like, hey brother, I go through the same thing. I was once where you was at, but the Most High brought me through this. And I stuck to the scriptures, and here's some verses that go along with that. So you'll be able to build that brother up, because especially on the topic of women, if he lost his woman or something, you could bring out like in Job. Job lost his whole. He didn't lose his woman. His woman went out of her wits, but he lost his whole family and his riches and stuff like that. But the Most High brought it back, tenfold, or I believe it was 100-fold. But there was another story where oh well, where they say, roughly paraphrasing, Yahushua says, you haven't given up any man that has given up, first of all, you hadn't given up anything, because the things you did have, they was all corrupted. And then, if you give up these things, he's gonna, give it back to you 100-fold. So, you give up your woman is not really righteously your woman. She's doing all kind of other wickedness on the side, and, if you let that go without, strife and grief, for these scriptures, the Most High in the kingdom might give you that same woman back, but in righteousness and in her full glory. You don't have to worry about her cheating or sleeping around and things like that, So a brother could bring out some of those scriptures to help build you back up in those things. So this is why it says here, therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain salvation, which is in Yahweh Shai Hamashiach with eternal glory. Because it'd be a sad thing for a brother to lose his old lady and coming in his truth, and then lose the truth because he wanted to fall out for the old lady. If that's just a small sense. But like, if there was a brother who didn't go through something and was telling a brother like, oh, that don't really matter, but then he can't relate to that brother, and that brother fall out over that, that just be a, that's just bad all around. Put it that way, Verse 11. It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he also will deny us. Okay, so again, like, if you're taking ailments and things like that, like I opened up this video with the brother at the camp, at camp, was saying, that it kind of touched him that, that I came out to the camp after seeing this video, out of his, personal testimony on his video about the hell he was catching at work, and to be honest, if if I can remember correctly. It wasn't even a video about, nothing that would make somebody want to come out to a camp. Like, let me go check these guys out. It was a video about him basically catching hell, and he was basically going in on Esau and the people at his job, and at the same time, what he didn't understand at that time was, that I was going through the exact same thing that he was going through, and I was almost to a breaking point, and he was going through something, but the Most High had led me out to that camp, and introduced me to those brothers right at that right time. So he didn't understand that he was going through that affliction just to bring another brother in. So you have to endure all these things for the elect's sake, that the elect may be sealed. You might be going through an affliction that might not have anything to do with you. His affliction at his job at that point in time might not have had anything to do with him. He might not have been going off or anything like that. The Most High, he might have just had to be, take that L for another brother to wake up. So that's why in the scriptures here it says, let me read it so I don't butcher it. It says, therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Yahushua HaMashiach with eternal glory. So again, I hope this video was edifying. I just hope that you brothers that are in front of the cameras in the camps and stuff like that, it's I know it's hard out there sometimes, and going through your everyday life with these spiritual warfare and stuff like that, things get hard. But on the other side of the camera, there's people that are sincere brothers that are out there that's taking notes, that's writing stuff down, that's sitting there studying and learning. You're like a teacher, and you have a classroom on the other side. If you're a good teacher and have righteous students in your classroom, your class is gonna be quiet all the time. You're gonna be the only one speaking, and they're gonna be listening and taking notes and understanding what you're saying. You're not gonna have a lot of chatter and stuff like that. Some people could get, this is a metaphor. Some people could get caught up with, if you have you're a teacher and you have a bad classroom, the kids are all running around. At least people acknowledging everybody else. That they're doing something. Whereas if they're in that quiet classroom, like is everybody zoned out? No, everybody's paying attention. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're just not right then and there. They're eating at the time. So I want to say to the brothers that scriptures say to endure all things for the elect's sake. And sometimes the afflictions that you catch might be for somebody else to be coming up. And also for the brothers that's out on the other side of the camera that's watching and taking notes and stuff like that. And you might want to take in mind and consideration the type of suffering that the brothers that are in the camps are going through. Like just think about it in a worldly sense. A brother like let's say a brother has to work all the time. A brother has to work all the time. And then he has a family and like some kids and stuff like that. He might sacrifice some sleep from after working the long hours, coming home, spend time with his wife and his kids or something like that. And then he's real tired, want to go to sleep. But then and he got to get up the next day to go to work. But he's putting together a lesson. He's putting together a video. He's doing something to edify another one of the brothers. That's how you say enduring the affliction, all sleep deprivation. I'm tired, my body's beat right now, but I'm still doing this video. You could be going through something where affliction at your job, you're catching hell from your job, just to be able to relate to another brother and stuff like that. So, again, for the people that are on the other side of the camera watching, these brothers are going through quite a bit of things like that, stuff like that, take in mind for those things that, these brothers are doing this for your sake. So, at the same time, like, study, do your diligence. I can't tell you exactly, whether or not the Most High has chosen you or not, things like that. That's going to be on Him to move you in the spirit. But at the same time, if you can and wherever you are, acknowledge these brothers. Let these brothers know, if you can be honest with yourself and these brothers are raising you up, I know, especially for my own self, I can testify and say, I was just basically like a heathen, I was like a fatherless child with no structure, and these brothers came and raised me up, and I let these brothers know, man, y'all done gave me, through y'all, the Most High gave me that breath of life, and I appreciate that. So, and the brothers, got back to me saying that meant a lot to them too, and it's just like just looking at the scriptures sake, I endure all things for the elect's sake, you're supposed to love, there's no greater, you're supposed to love your brother, what I'm saying? It's like, they also say there's no greater love for one that gives up his life for his own, for his brother's sake. Roughly paraphrasing, but for a friend, also a brother. But like you're giving up that old life and sacrificing other things just so you could edify the brothers. Well, I didn't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna just end it there. I want to say all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well, and much love and salutations to you brothers pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. Shalom.